What happens when a company built on selling more decides that its future depends on people drinking less? I am ecstatic today to be joined by Catalina Garcia Gomez, Global Director of Corporate Affairs at AB InBev, who shares how a 10-year, $1 billion commitment helped re-engineer drinking culture globally, and what that shift teaches us about power, accountability, and scale. I am Myriam Sidibé, and this is Sex, Soap, and Alcohol, where we explore how profit and purpose don't compete, but they reinforce each other. So I'd love to welcome Kata. Kata, we've been working on and off for a couple of years, really thinking about what's possible. You've been really at it for so long, and I know it's not an easy path at all.
Thank you so much, Myriam. What an amazing way to start the year speaking with you. It's truly an honor to be here. So I want to start by starting this year reflecting on a journey I have been part of for the past 10 years. So 10 years ago, I was working for SAB Miller. And at that moment, AB InBev acquired AB InBev. And I had the opportunity to join the company,
You mean
move to New York.
They acquired SAB, right? Was it?
Yes, AB InBev
acquired
SAB Miller. And I had the opportunity to move to New York to work at the global headquarters of AB InBev. And they asked me to lead an incredible program. You know, in 2015, the company launched what we internally call the Global Smart Drinking Goals. So they said, Kata, you have this challenge. We launched these goals, a bold commitment to help reduce harmful drinking and promote moderation. And I said, okay, I'm going to take the challenge. Today, I'm telling the story after 10 years. I'm super excited, Myriam, to share this with you and with the audience. So my first question was, what's the budget? And they said, well, we committed to invest $1 billion in social norms marketing to develop programs and campaigns to help reduce harmful drinking and promote moderation. So you have to work with the commercial team, with marketing, with sales, and ensure they invest that money in all these programs. And that...
I want to applause. $1 billion. $1 billion, Kata. I mean, that's a huge commitment.
Yes, huge commitment. And I said, well, okay, let me see how I'm going to implement these goals. But maybe I can start like summarizing the goals, Myriam, so the audience really understand what was this commitment. So first of all, again, the $1 billion investment in social norms marketing and programs to move from awareness to behavior change. So how we were using the strengths of beer, the scale of our company to do so. That was like the first goal. Second goal was expanding our no alcohol beer and low alcohol beer portfolio. So that was something that it was really ambitious. And we said, okay, we want to offer consumers what they want. Consumers want choices. We have an amazing portfolio. Let's start doing so. The other goal was we need to test what are those evidence-based initiatives that really work, that really help reduce harmful drinking and promote moderation and responsible drinking. So we launched 6 city pilots around the world, different cities from Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, the US, and implement different initiatives to learn, to test, to measure, and see what works to scale up. And the other goal was around implementing guidance label in our products in the countries that didn't have mandated labeling. So we wanted to bring the information to consumers so they can make better choices. So those 4 goals were all under the umbrella of smart drinking. And when I took the challenge, I said, well, what is social norms marketing? How are we going to invest this $1 billion? Who's going to implement the city pilot? So yeah, the company had this challenge. And coming back to how we implemented the goals was, okay, yes, we have a role to play, but we cannot do this alone. We need experts. We need partners to help us implement these city pilots. How are we going to do this? So I started searching, especially when I was saying, okay, what is this social norms marketing about? And then I remember, Myriam, when we first spoke, because you were writing your book, the Brands on a Mission book, and it said, okay, I have Myriam. Myriam, she wants to learn about what we're doing in South Africa with our campaigns, and she's an expert in purpose marketing, in brands marketing. So I wanna learn from her. And then I also started searching for other experts. So I found Jeff French from London. So he's a renowned leader in social marketing. And I brought him to speak with me. And I sent him an email. Hey, Jeff, I'm here. We have these goals. I need help. What do you think? So from the first conversation, he said, wow, this is an incredible ambition. I want to be part of it. So with Jeff, with you, we started building all this content. I started to learn about it so I could transfer this knowledge, these skills to our commercial team. Because as you know, we are experts in marketing. We have been awarded 2 times as the Creative Marketeer of the Year. So we have incredible people that are experts in marketing. But how can we use the brands, invest this budget into changing behaviors, reinforcing positive behaviors to drink in moderation, to drink responsibly, so that consumers that really, they love our brands, they connect with our brands in different ways. How can the brand speak to a consumer in a way that doesn't sound like an instruction telling you what to do?
It's not lecturing. It's more around bringing them with you so that, you become, and I think that's really an important way in which, AB InBev is like the leader in that space. Because, you are the world's largest beer company, right? How many brands, just remind me, how many brands
yes.
you actually put out there?
Yeah, exactly, Myriam. Yeah, we are the world's leading brewers, and we operate in 150 countries. So the footprint is huge. And
brands like, just to remind the audience, Corona. What else?
Budweiser, Stella Artois, Michelob Ultra, and different brands from Europe. Left, Jupiler. We have Carling Black Label from South Africa, Castle Light, some other brands from Latin America like Brahma, Quilmes, Águila, and so many others that are rooted in the heritage of the countries where we operate. So we have been in those countries for more than 100 years, producing beer, producing amazing products that consumers love. So there's a lot of culture, there's a lot of the environment, the context that we consider when we design these kind of initiatives and campaigns and programs.
Of course. But let's go back to the internal fight and how difficult it is, right? Because people underestimate not only the scale of what you're talking about. $1 billion investment is huge, but then mobilizing an entire company to align along those 4 goals that you discussed. But talk to me about how relevant was that when you were trying to explain that to public health stakeholders, right? How do you talk to commercial leaders versus some of the stakeholders? Do you use a similar frame? What changes? What are the big conversations changes just to make sure that your commitment is kept relevant? And I can think of many different ways in which I've seen you hold your ground. But talk to me a little bit about how important it is to use a frame that they can relate to.
Yeah. Let me start by saying that we have championed moderation and responsible drinking for more than 100 years. There's even a 1919 label in our St. Louis archives that says Budweiser means moderation.
Wow.
So really what changed in 2015 is that we made that belief explicit and measurable. So when I spoke with the public health experts, with Jeff French, with you, with Bill DeYoung, and many others, it was about, we have been doing this for many, many years. We want to measure the impact. We want to learn how to do it better with greater impact. We want to invest this in the different programs, reinforce positive social norms. And what made it stick internally was clarity and leadership alignment, because it came from the top, right? So everybody was on board, and everybody has the goals embedded in their day-to-day. So these goals became part of how brands planned, how innovation happened, and how the success was measured. The thing is that, we know how to do marketing. We know how to sell our products. It's how do we bring that knowledge to reinforce positive behaviors? What are those messages that are actionable, that connect better with consumers, that will add value to the brand equity? Because it's not an add-on. It's the brand itself connecting better with the consumers. And at the same time, how do we impact the communities? So speaking with marketing at the beginning was challenging because they were used to do things in promoting the campaigns by saying, drink responsibly. And I say, it's not only drink responsibly. What does it mean to drink responsibly? So we have brands, for example, that are all about party, all about friendship. So a brand that speaks about celebration and party, you want the consumers to enjoy the moment in a positive way, to have a good experience, right, with the brand. So you're not going to say, drink responsibly. So it doesn't work. So that's what we learn when we engage with you, with the other experts, on what are those messages that brings the consumer to change a behavior, to change a social norm. But it doesn't work only with a campaign. We need others to work. So also local governments. So if we're talking about don't drink and drive, we need also some law enforcement around. We need the campaigns to send the message, to bring a solution, because it's not only don't drink and drive, it's to tell the consumer that there are options so they can take an alternative transportation. So all that wording, the way we were designing the campaigns, came together to make them effective. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, let me tell you. Measuring impact is not easy. Marketing knows how to measure impact, but we needed to bring that element on how to measure the change of the behavior of a consumer when decided what to drink.
But talk to me a little bit about the choice smart drinking, because that was something that really resonated with me at some point. And I thought, that's amazing. You are enabling smarter drinking. What exactly are you enabling? Information, options, social permission, environment. And I think it's a combination of all of that, right? But, and that for me is unbelievable, because it means that it's moving away from or putting the onus only on the consumer, saying you are an irresponsible, because if you say responsible drinking, whereas smarter drinking is to say you can make a choice, and that choice is a choice that enables you to think about how you can drink in more moderation, right? I thought that was always a really, really smart way to put it.
Yeah, I would say it's a combination of many things, right? Is using the strength of our products, is using the strengths of beer, the scale of our business, our partners, to help consumers make better choices. Smart drinking is who we are. Smart drinking is moderation. It's part of our DNA. So that made things easier because beer is moderation. Beer is lower alcohol. Beer has no alcohol beer options. So that made it easier to promote the brands, to make consumers take informed choices by placing this guidance label very visible in our products, in all the labels, in the countries that there was not mandated labeling. So they have the information and take the better choices. And also, when we tested the different initiatives in the city pilots, more than 30 initiatives, we learned which ones were evidence-based and were really contributing to this 10% reduction of harmful drinking. So we learned about programs to reduce and eliminate underage drinking, programs to identify patterns of consumption in an early stage, bringing technology to bring this to a higher reach, like the screening and briefing intervention, and road safety initiatives. All those things we learned that were effective, and we needed partners to join us and to bring all these initiatives into the ground and measure them. So there were many elements that help us implement smart drinking in a way that everybody, the public health experts, understood how big this ambition was, how committed we were to do so, that we were in a journey of learning. And we learned what worked and what didn't work. And that's what we're doing now, is really continue doing what worked, scaling up and bringing, of course, partners and experts all the way.
And I think it's impossible to say that you've done this amount of work over the last 10 years without changing the system internally as well, right? And I think for me, because it's reduction of harmful use of alcohol has so many different components to it, right? So, and you talk about the 4 pillars that you've been looking at: social norms marketing, guidance label, no low alcohol innovations, a city pilot. Is there one particular pillar that has changed the consumer choices the most, you would say?
Yes, Myriam. There's one specific goal, as you call it, pillar, which is the one, I would say, the most transformative goal. That was the no and low alcohol beer goal.
I agree.
Not because it is no alcohol, but because it unlocked better occasions and encouraged lower ABV choices. Consumers shifted from higher alcohol options to beer, which is lower ABV alternative, as I said it, supporting moderation while expanding occasions, right?
Yeah.
So although we didn't reach the goal, we really sparked the trend to expand the portfolio of no alcohol and low alcohol beer, and others follow us. So that was really transformative. We continue expanding the portfolio and consumers love it. We have a beer for every occasion. We have
even one after sports. I understand there's a Michelob Ultra, no, position itself after.
Michelob Ultra. Yeah. You know, I'm a runner,
Oh.
so I love beer. I'm a runner, and every time I finish my running on the weekends, I have a group that runs on Saturdays at 9, and after we just meet before noon to close our running, and what not having an amazing Michelob Ultra and alternate with a Michelob Ultra Zero, a non-alc. So,
But there you go. Who would have thought that you would think of an occasion after sports and think of beer, right? I mean, I think that's a really interesting one for that. And I mean, I know, for example, that you did quite a lot even around the Olympics and the World Cup, for example, right? And I think that's been very transformative in the way a beer for the first time ever would have been a sponsor, right? Of the Olympics,
yes,
right?
of
Please.
the Olympics, exactly, and we continue being sponsors of the FIFA World Cup. So they're incredible platforms, the sport platforms where consumers want to celebrate their teams, the different matches, to really enjoy better the occasion. You can stay longer in the occasion when you drink a beer and you alternate with a no-alcohol beer and you celebrate, right? It's positive. It's all about bringing people together, your friends, is socializing better. So these platforms really are bringing the best of our brands, bringing the best of connection when you have all the consumers really enjoying in a positive way. So thank you for bringing that, Myriam. For us, the partnership with the Olympics is incredible. Last year, we started in Paris with Corona Zero, and now coming soon, the Winter Olympics as well. So it's bringing more choices to consumers, and consumers want choices. They also, the majority drink in moderation. So if you bring them different options and choices, beer, lower alcohol, beer, no alcohol, I think it's a combination that helps consumers enjoy better and have products like beer as part of a balanced lifestyle.
And talk to me a little bit about what do you need to change in the way marketeers sell and marketeers do their campaigns? What changed in their internal capability most because of these global smart drinking goals?
That's a very good point, Myriam. So as I mentioned before, it wasn't easy to bring all our commercial team together and let them know that yes, we are experts in creative marketing, but we needed to bring these elements to reinforce positive behavior. So we put together toolkits, as you may remember, but we didn't want those toolkits to be on a shelf and we launch it and nobody's gonna see it. So it was a continuous training, continuous information to the teams, explaining them the methodology to develop social norms marketing campaigns. The theory and the practical examples were in the toolkit, but they needed to learn, they needed to practice. So we said, hey, why don't we create a competition among the marketing teams, more than 50 countries competing for the best smart drinking campaign using social norms marketing. So we launched it 7 years ago or 8 years ago, this competition, and amazing prizes. We said, okay, we're gonna support the winner with budget for production. We're gonna support you with making sure this campaign is award-winning. And let me tell you, after 8 years, these campaigns have won Cannes Awards. For example, the one in South Africa with Carling Black Label, all about eliminating gender-based violence. Another one a brand from Colombia, my home country, Águila. This brand is about celebration and party. We wanted to reduce binge drinking. Incredible campaign, bringing solutions to consumers like, promoting eating food while drinking, alternating with no alcohol beer, and another kind of word, and so many others, like 4 or 5 we won with this. So we launched the competition. We had lots of submissions, and we used the competition as a platform to share these new skills with the teams. So they learn from the toolkit, they learn from the experts. Myriam, thank you again. You have been part of this journey with Jeff, with Bill, with JC, with so many experts, bringing the teams and motivating them. And also we learn from them. We learn how their creative mindsets and their creative magic comes to life, and bringing that combination makes the brand stronger. Equity increases because we have measured that. Consumers, yes, they want to change behavior because they like it, they have the options, they enjoy the occasion. So all that allow us to really bring smart drinking as a mindset and not as a toolkit, as a book that stays on a shelf.
So you are definitely selling less alcohol per person, but you need to sustain growth. And let's not be, you are, a company that's leading the way. We are here at Sex, Soap and Alcohol, and we're not shy about the fact that you need to merge profit and purpose together, right? So talk to us a little bit about the logic that continues giving you the license to continue investing in smart drinking.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Thank you, Myriam, for the question. So we don't see it as selling less. We see it as selling better.
Selling better.
Right? So it's a portfolio diversification, innovation. The no alcohol beer, the liquid itself, is amazing. We have been investing in technology and producing a better no alcohol beer every year. And today I can say it's an amazing product. And also is a portfolio of moderation-friendly choices, right? Future-proof the business itself. And one thing we need to bring in the conversation is the latest WHO, the World Health Organization, they reported that harmful alcohol use has declined by over 20% globally since 2010, while beer volumes increase, showing that growth and moderation can move together. And the other thing, Myriam, is that the consumers want choices for moderation, and we offer them. And the flavors are incredible. The brands are for every occasion, for these platforms that we mentioned around sports, for festivals, for music, for enjoying a nice meal with friends, for so many occasions. So I think that's the beauty of it. We continue growing, we are selling better, and we are offering more choices.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Kata. Let's talk about the playbook, because what you are doing is at the forefront of not only the industry in which you're playing, but also in a lot of companies and where you are. And there are many industries that need to learn from your experiences. Let's start with partnerships, because so much of this has happened because of partnership. Obviously, with public health experts, you've discussed NGO, regulators. Is there something that you've had to a bit surrender to earn more credibility with those partners? Is it around maybe slowing down, giving them more credit, maybe investing more in of course, data and evidence base, about the control of the narrative? Because it's a scary path to say, I'm going to invest this and then I'm going to watch to see where I am, right? So talk to us a little bit about the kind of partnerships that have been at the forefront of delivering a $1 billion bets or goals.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I would say transparency and consistency are key elements for trust and to make a partnership successful, right? and also embedding measurement methodologies and the discipline of learning from those measurable impacts and replicate what works. So for that, we brought partners to help us measure the impact of what we were doing. As you know, we have the AB InBev Foundation that mainly their role is to help us measure the impact, and they bring experts from the public health sector, experts in social norms, in impact measurement. And, always things need to be grounded in evidence. And when you have that, and when you learn over the years, that was what we did in 10 years, is learning what really works, what was the evidence for the things that work, that allow us to decide what to replicate and which partners continue with us. We have been bringing partners every year more, especially locally, right? Because, we have global partners that are experts in different fronts that like to do research about what we're doing, they write papers, but also the local partners. We have local universities that help us bring professors and experts to do research, to document what we do, to measure the impact. Local governments as well, right? So different organizations, multilateral organizations, the UN unit that has joint efforts, especially in the road safety front, the IDB, the Inter-American Development Bank, because their focus is development of Latin America, and especially small and medium businesses. And as you know, our value chain, one of the largest groups of our value chain are the retailers, small businesses, 6 million. So we said, yes, we want these retailers to grow. We want these retailers to sell and serve responsibly. So we know how to do beer. We know how to sell. We know how to promote moderation. IDB knows how to help us, or how to help this business grow and have a sustainable business. So that combination of knowledge with partners from different backgrounds and different footprints in terms of the geographies where they operate really bring the project into a level that allow us to be a model to follow to others, right? This consistency, this transparency, that applies for any industry, right? So, and the commitment from the top, as I mentioned before, that's key in the execution of the whole strategy.
I think you mentioned a very important group, the group of retailers. And, in many countries in Africa, Asia, Latin America, we're talking about a single mom with a bar who's selling, right? But the consumers, these three continents that I've just mentioned, represent the next billion consumers, right? They have a lot of informal markets, weaker regulatory infrastructure, and different drinking culture. So what does responsible growth look like in practice when you're operating with all those different constraints for you? Or have you seen something, in the how part in here that is, distinctively different? Because you obviously cannot compare, right?
Yeah, that how is very important. And you talk about the how with consumers and how you connect with them through the brands. And the how with retailers, how you connect with them through the playbooks on how to sell responsibly, how they really comply with the code of marketing and communications when selling, promoting, and serving our beer. So they receive training, and we partner with their authorities as well, right? With local authorities, so that we ensure that those businesses are responsibly, that those businesses are not selling to minors, that they ensure the experience of the consumers when they come to their small mom and pop shop, the tiendas, the bodegas, is a positive experience, right?
Yeah.
So that's something we work with these more than 2 billion consumers and more than 6 million customers to
Wow.
ensure that is really embedded. Otherwise, they won't grow. They want these businesses want consumers to drink in moderation. They don't want consumers that are wasted, right? They want consumers to drink responsibly. In that way, the business grows, the consumers have a positive experience, and also just to bring to the conversation, these retailers play an important role in their communities. So everything is interconnected, right? When you do good business and you do good for the communities, it's all share value. Everybody wins. So the small business, the retailer wins, AB InBev, the business wins, grows, the consumer also, and overall the community is impacted in a positive way.
I mean, it's been 10 years since you've been on this journey of, obviously investing $1 billion. How have you actually recorded some of the evidence in terms of, for example, really trying to figure out, whether or not you've captured everything that there is to be captured? Have you been working with academics? Talk to us a little bit about this journey.
Yes, Myriam, we have been working with academics, and the Georgetown University has been with us the whole journey. They assessed our work, documented what worked, what didn't work. They follow our successes, the tensions, the challenges. And it was with the Business for Impact team, Bill Novelli, Leslie Crutchfield, Lanan Mantegui, and you, Myriam, also. You were part of this team helping us measure the impact, understand the strengths, what worked. And the conclusion was very clear. The global smart drinking goals were bold, present setting, and imperfect, but transformative, as the team from Georgetown said. So very happy to have the academics guiding our way and continue with us for this journey that doesn't stop.
And how can other industries? There is so many lessons here to be learned from the AB InBev experience, right? I mean, not only the scale of the ambition, the scale of the implementation, the scale of internal implementation as well. All this is really important. So what's next for you, Kata? What's next for AB InBev? After such a big goal, what's the next thing? Are you going to invest $2 billion?
I would say the following.
For another 20 years?
Yeah, there are another 20 years for sure. Investing $2 billion in 20 years for sure. Yeah, that. We want to continue doing what works, right? And that's our most important challenge or goal, which is scaling up what works, right? And I would say that for others to learn about what we have done is, yes, we want to continue dreaming big. You have to dream big, right? And if you believe in that dream, you will make it happen. You will bring others along the way because you cannot do it alone. You're not expert in everything. You have some strengths, you know your weaknesses. So when you bring all those together, for sure you're going to achieve that dream. So now what is happening in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, is continue dreaming big for a future with more cheers, to drink in moderation, to bring the best options, the best products to our consumers, and the best partners like you, Myriam.
Thank you very much. Here's to more cheers, right?
Exactly.
Catalina, thank you so much. To our listeners, I leave you with one question. What would it take for responsibility to become strategic in your industry? And I think if this conversation sparks something for you, I want you to follow us on your chosen listening platform, share your thoughts, and give us a 5-star rating. Again, I'm Professor Myriam Sidibé. This podcast is brought to you by Brands on a Mission. We help organizations, brands, achieve social impact and business growth for purpose. Head over to brandsonamission.com to learn more. Again, Kata, thank you so much for giving us the time today. And we are super excited on your journey to invest 2 billion and reducing, obviously, the reduction of harmful use of alcohol to a lot more than where we are today. Thank you so much, Kata.
Thank you so much, Myriam. My name is Kata, and I'm on a mission to drive moderation, to bring consumers and enjoy every occasion with beer.